Welcome back to the Miguel Zakova Show with me, Miguel Zakova, and today we're going to talk about Ultraman Arc. Arc the story of Yuma Hise, a member of the Hoshimoto City branch of the Special Kaiju Investigation Patrol, or SKIP, an organization dedicated to studying kaiju and evacuating people from them in times of crisis. But in these times of crisis, unbeknownst to anyone else, Yuma becomes the hero Ultraman Arc, defeating the kaiju and saving Hoshimoto City with his power of imagination. Ultraman is a name I haven't really said in a while on this channel, mainly as I haven't really been able to get into any Ultraman show that isn't Ginga, especially currently airing ones. Like, I've been trying to be a weekly Ultraman watcher since they were first doing the YouTube live streams with Zet, but I would always fall off for some reason. The reason getting more and more negative over time. Like, I never finished Zet out of laziness. I like the show from what I've seen. I never finished Trigger, Decker, or Blazer because I thought they were boring. The main problem being that I never felt there was a character for me to connect to. Like, I'm not gonna harp on Trigger as much with this because I only watched 3 episodes, but I feel like 25 episode shows should be able to get me interested in its cast after the 13 episodes I gave Decker in the 10 episodes I gave Blazer. But with Arc from day one, I never had this problem because of one character, Shu Ishido, a member of the Galactic Defense Force transferred to SKIP. Due to his different background, he sees kaiju and aliens as the more obvious threats they are, instead of something to be studied and learned from like other members of SKIP. A conflict that comes to a head when he basically racially profiles an alien at a hot spring, until Yuma teaches him the ability to see past obvious bias, instead trust others, having the imagination to see someone as more than just what others tell you. Creating a great dynamic between the two as you see over the series, Ishido takes this message to heart and becomes a less judgmental and open-minded person. I've seen the scene where Yuma has a glowing beam shooting out of his chest. Instead of prying him about it like he would have done before, Ishido gives Yuma the space to tell him about it eventually. Him now having the imagination to believe that Yuma would have a good reason to not immediately explain why it's happening. That type of growth and dynamic is something I just didn't feel was even slightly brewing up in those other shows. Not trying to throw too much shade, because again, I didn't finish them. But still, this dynamic is what really carried the show for me. It made me actually want to finish the series. Also, Yuma himself is a pretty decent protagonist. Like, he's a typical nice guy main character, but I think how the show touches on themes of imagination elevates him a bit. Like, they go back to that moment I mentioned when he taught Ishido how to trust aliens. Yuma was able to base his trust in that alien all because he thought a specific hand gesture he did made him seem peaceful. That's kind of how the show touches on imagination in general. The show very much preaches on about how imagination is important to be able to understand the world and build a better future. Like in one episode, the commander guy talks to his teacher about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs being real is commonplace now, but you have to think about the fact that someone had to believe in them first. Like, someone had to dig up animal bones and learn that they weren't applicable to not only any animal that they knew of, but to animals that no human being has ever actually seen. Like, that's crazy. But hey, someone did believe in it, and we got the greatest show of all time because of it. Also, cool science, but still, you get the point. Like, that was an important discovery, and it could only be made because of imagination. I also think this sort of focus on imagination in terms of understanding helps it to stand apart from other series, which focus on the scene more so in the thinking of cool things way. I mean, the show still has that with the fights, but again, you get the point. I don't have a lot else to say. The other characters are fine. They have some okay focus episodes here and there, such as Rin's episode where she has to call out a college professor she admires for being a scumbag. But other than that, they're kind of whatever. Also, I don't particularly care for the show's main storyline after the final form debut. Like, I just don't care about the Swede stuff after I watch Ultraman turn a black hole into a power-up. Like, we kind of peak with that blunt line there. Also, the Blazer crossover, while not being bad, kind of feels like a waste of 4 episodes if we're not going to even get to see any of the characters from that show, even though I really don't care about seeing any of them, which probably also doesn't help. Like, all we get is the samurai guy who only appeared in 1 episode of Blazer originally, and Blazer himself, who can't talk, so he's kind of just there. But overall, Ultraman Arc's a pretty good show. Me, guys, signing out.